going to talk today about two different concepts from your notes. Hopefully you've done your guided notes. If not, this might sound strange to you. But hopefully you've done your guided notes. Oh, what are you doing, Devin?
I kept recording you.
No, I got my recording going. We're good. All right. Well, let's just chat about some of the things that you needed to do. One, guided notes probably needs to be done. Parent contact form definitely needs to be done, right? Vocab, easy peasy, done. Study guide, easy peasy, done. Okay? If you're not on those four things yet, you're a little bit behind, but that's okay. No!
I'll do it.
Thank you. And then the other things that you are asked to do is a target check, right? I suggested not waiting until you saw me again before you took that. This is going to help you out a lot, all right? And then the two other things you had to do were the Venn diagram and the modern example of tragedy of the commons, okay? Your Venn diagram, we're going to talk about that right now. So if you want to pull that up and work on it as I'm talking, great. If you're a note taker and you want to take notes while I'm doing this, awesome. Like I said, I'm recording this right now for people who aren't here. So this will be uploaded on Google Classroom later if you want to revisit what we talked about. And I also will put a video up of just this specific timeline. I'm trying to give you guys everything you need, okay? So let's talk about a timeline. All right, this is our timeline of the Earth, okay? Over here we've got the beginning of Earth. Africa. Isn't it pretty? He's such a good drawer. Alright, so in the beginning of the Earth, and like I said, we're going to talk, well, not like I said in another class, we're going to teach you based on scientific evidence. Whatever you believe that the beginning of Earth looks like, I think that can exist. That's fine. Okay, but at some point the Earth existed, and then we see documentation of humans. And what did these humans look like? Cavemen. I get that answer a lot. Neanderthals, cavemen. Yeah, okay? So how did they get their energy? Like, what did they do?
They hunt.
They hunt. What else do they do?
Gather.
Ooh, and that's why it's called what? Yeah, it is. This is called the hunter-gatherers. Gatherers are my favorite word ever because it has two ERs. Ers. I don't know. That's exciting to me. Whatever. Hunter-gatherers. So this is really easy, guys. What do? They hunt and they gather. Ooh. All right, now let's think about this. If you're a hunter-gatherer and you break your leg, what happens?
You're dead.
You're dead. Why are you dead?
Because there's no medical.
There's no medical. You can't hunt. Something could eat you, right? Also, these people have to be mobile. They have to move, right? If the herd of whatever you are eating moves, you gotta go with it. If the plant that you and your family have been eating stops growing in this place but grows over here, you gotta go with it, right? So think about the lifespan. Do you think these people live longer or shorter than we do?
Shorter.
Very, very much shorter. Okay? And think about a family. Do you want a big family? Or you want a small family if you have to move all the time?
Small.
Un poquito. Very, very small. Okay? Not very big family units. Alright? Hunter-gatherers. Good? Then something happened. Oh, I want to talk about food. So these hunter-gatherers, we see that they overhunted some large mammals into extinction. Anybody know an example of one of those large mammals, kids? Mastodon, okay. Yeah?
Giant sloth.
Sure. Usually I get woolly mammoth, large, giant sloth.
Mastodon is one, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But, we don't usually have the scientific. Yeah, saber-tooth tiger. Basically any of the cast of the Ice Age movies,
Yeah.
honestly. Okay? So these are those overhunted large mammals, and it's not that we went out and went on a killing spree of all these things. Here's what happened. During hunter-gatherer period, is there refrigeration?
No.
Is there freezers? So if you have a large kill, when can you eat that animal?
No.
Right then. You and your family can eat that day. Are you planning on eating tomorrow?
Yeah.
Guess what you gotta do? Kill another one. So we can see that these large animals, and we'll get into population sizes, but in general, the larger the prey, the smaller the population. Okay, so if we're killing off all of the prey that have a very small population, eventually there's not going to be any left. This is a first example of depleting resources. That'll be important later. But then somebody got really smart. And they said, you see those cows over there that I've been chasing? What if I just built something around them so that they can't go anywhere? That's an idea. You see this wildflower that we've been eating and we keep having to move because it keeps dying here and then we move over here? What if I just grab it all and plant it right here so I don't have to keep going out and trying to find it? And we've created something now. What did we create? Agriculture, farms, that we move into.
The agricultural revolution.
Very good, somebody did his notes.
Sure.
Agricultural revolution. Okay? And this is where people domesticate plants and animals. Alright? So what we have are we have these farms. We see the very first traces of simple machines, the wheel and axle. Simple tools to be able to farm efficiently, right? We see larger animals, horses, cows being used to pull, right? Now, if you're a farmer, you want a big family or a small family? A big family, right? Why you want a big family? More kids means more free labor, right? And we see our population growing. Okay?
Keep in mind, this time started about 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, this agricultural revolution, 8,000 to 10,000 years.
Civilization, as you would put it.
And across the world, we had less than 1 billion people.
And then-
less than 1 billion.
Somebody thought, man, I could really get a lot more farming done if I could see while it was dark outside without using all my firewood. So we created what? We didn't create industrialization. We created what?
Oil lamps.
Sure. What else did we create? Lights, electricity, yes. I'm glad you said oil lamps. Truly, I am. We move into a time period you guys all know as the Industrial Revolution.
We could also call it something different if we wanted to. We could call it, what are we using? Boy, what is oil?
Dead
Yep.
creatures.
Taking out dead creatures, okay? What else is like, what else are we using here during this time? Oh, she said,
Fossil.
yeah.
We're using fossil fuels. We
It's called
figured
the
out as
fossil fuel
humans
age.
how to take natural resources and use them to create energy. And not only can we create energy, we can create a lot more energy in a quicker amount of time than we ever could burning firewood. And we'll talk about that in our energy unit. Okay? So the introduction of using fossil fuels introduces this whole new way of creating things, right? We have factories. All of these people from the farms are moving from rural to urban. And you have something called what? Urbanization. Right? Ooh. All these people, when you lived on the farm, all you saw were your family members. Now we're moving into cities. What happens to our population? Why else does our population grow? Now we have medicine. Now we have technology to keep people alive when they're supposed to be dying. So not only does our population grow and the amount of people people that we're producing, but the amount of people that we're dying every year, that number's going down. And thus our population continues to grow. This is where we are now. Post-industrial revolution, if you will. We're still creating, but what are we using for the majority of our fuel or our sources? Energy. We're still using fossil fuels. Why is that a problem? Pollution. There you go. So we talk about in this class specifically the difference between a renewable and a non-renewable resource, right? What is a non-renewable resource? Coal, oil.
Iron.
Right. Okay? I don't like the term non-renewable because non-renewable resources actually are renewable. It's possible, but when science tells you it's a renewable versus a non-renewable resource, they base that off of a human life. And in a one human lifetime, non-renewable resources cannot be renewed. It takes millions and millions of years. You won't see the renewal of fossil fuels in your lifetime. I won't see it in mine. But what you will see is us run out of them. We will run out. It will happen. So what do we have to do? Go to space. Probably not. We can figure out new ways to do things, right? We got to figure out different things to use to create energy. And now I know what you guys are all thinking because this is my general answer from all of my other classes. Buy a Tesla.
No.
Because apparently that's an answer for everything. Buy a Tesla, right? Here's my issue with using, gasoline, right? Everybody has a car. Not everybody has a car, but your family members have a vehicle to drive mostly, okay? That's not how it used to be. You're lucky if one person in your family had a car, right? So we've gotten used to these modern comforts based on fossil fuels. What does your car run on? Gasoline, it's petroleum, it's fossil fuel. All these people are like, oh, but I got an electric car. I'm not using fossil fuels. False. You know, in the state of Ohio, the biggest the biggest source of electricity that we have is what? It's coal. So if you've bought a electric car in Ohio and you're using electricity to fuel your car, you've gone from using petroleum, a fossil fuel, to using coal, a fossil fuel. Is that environmentally effective in terms of saving resources? No. Now let's talk about solar panels. That's renewable energy, right? Water, wind, those are all renewable energies. We are going to have to, your lifetime, your generation is going to have to come up with something better. Otherwise, you're not going to have the conveniences that you have right now. We will run out. Is that helpful with your Venn diagram? Speaking of resources, let's talk about tragedy of the commons. I'm going to erase this. Anybody need to take a picture of it real quick? Yeah? All right. Let's imagine for a minute that Lancaster, Ohio gave us this beautiful piece of land, and it said, you know what, we have this grassy land, and you guys can pick 3 people in your class to raise sheep on it. Sheep. Who wants sheep? Leon wants a sheep. Leon, how many sheep do you want?
4.
4. That's a great number. Leon has 4 sheep. Xavier, you want a sheep?
For sure.
How many do you want?
3.
3. You're being very conservative. How many do you want, Mr. Goss?
10.
10.
That's a lot of sheep.
All right. Leon, this is a land provided by Lancaster, Ohio, but they've told you we're not going to take care of it. It's your land. They're your sheep. Are you going to take care of it?
Yes.
All right, Leon's taking care of the land. That's good for Mr. Goss, right? He's got 10 sheep, and you're taking care of his land for him. Xavier, are you going to take care of the land? Or like, has she already decided she's taking care of it? And you're like, I'm gonna let you do your thing. Yeah, all right. So Leon, now you're the only one taking care of the land, and they both have sheep on it, right? So here's the thing: if you're the one taking care of the land, don't you want more sheep? You don't want any more sheep?
Oh, I do.
Oh, Mr. Gus wants more
You
sheep.
need up to double.
Double
Yeah.
times 2. All right, Xavier. You're only making as much money as you have sheep. Do you want more sheep?
Yeah.
Oh, he wants sheep. Times 3. Who's taking care of the land? Leon's still taking care of the land. She's only got 4 sheep. Do you want more sheep?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Since you're taking care of the land, I'll be very generous. Are you ready? You get times 5. But here's the problem. Now you don't have time to take care of the land, right? You're taking care of 1.5 million sheep. And then Mr. Goss sees that your sheep numbers are going up. So what's he do?
He's gonna go.
I want more sheep, right? Uh-oh, problem. No more grass. No more grass, nowhere to move your sheep.
We'll make jobs.
They all die. This concept is called the tragedy of the commons. And we see it when we share a common resource, right? We see it when we share resources. Because everybody's a little bit selfish. Everybody wants things to help them in the now, right? If I have sheep, I have a way to feed my family. I have a way to sell the sheep to make money. I can advance myself. And I'm not taking care of the land because somebody else said they already would. I'm going to trust that happens. How many of you have been in group projects and somebody said they do something, they don't do it, and you end up failing? Right? We've all got trust issues.
But that's the tragedy of the commons is when we all have responsibility for something, no one takes the responsibility over it, and then we end up depleting the resources there.
Let's think about the earth in general. The earth, right? We have oceans. Those are awesome. Yeah? What is an animal that lives in the ocean?
A shark.
A shark. What else?
An octopus.
An octopus. What else? A turtle. Ooh, little turtles. Anything else?
Jellyfish.
Maybe something a little larger. Ooh, whales. Anybody seen Whale Wars?
What's that?
It's a show on Animal Planet. You should totally watch it. Okay. So whales. Let's think about whales. Do whales decide that they are citizens of a specific country and they're like, I'm going to stay in the Chinese waters because I'm a Chinese whale?
No.
No. They move, don't they? Do we as humans have ownership over whales? Not really. But guess what? The Chinese and the Japanese government right now it is legal for them to go and hunt whales. And they say they're doing it for scientific research, but they're eating them. They're harvesting them at an exponential rate, and the population of whales are going down. Okay? Now they're going all the way to Antarctica to do this. Is that their water? Are those their whales? No. It is a shared common resource. Do they care that we're running out of whales? No. What happens if we run out of whales? I know it doesn't really seem like a whole lot. They're like, oh, well, we just don't have any more whales. Losing whales in the ocean creates an entire different dynamic for the ecosystem that is that ocean. And if our ecosystems go down, we go down. This is where humans forget that we're actually part of the ecosystem, right? If we don't have healthy oceans, we can't live on the earth. Shared common resources. If somebody won't take care of it, or if I don't take care of it, nobody else will, right? It's all about me. I'm in control. I own everything. And it's what can those resources do for me now versus thinking about how that is going to how that is going to impact everyone in the future. Does that make sense? We want to eat now. We want whales now. But if the whales go away and the oceans are unhealthy, what does that look like in the future? We're not thinking about that. Your job in the assignment, Modern Example of Tragedy of the Commons, is you guys are going to find something that's happening out in today. Something where people are sharing resources and it's going down.
Something other than whales.
Something other than whales, please. Okay? Find an example of that and try to make those connections in that assignment. Okay? There's lots going on. Think about deforestation, cutting down trees. Think about you and your cars using fossil fuels. Okay? Try to Google something, modern example of tragedy in the commons. I'm sure you'll find something, but you know, if everybody uses the first example of that, you might not find anything. Okay? Think about what's going on today in nature. Conservation of any animal, right? The loss of any animal in nature is the shifting of an ecosystem. It's the shifting of a food chain. It's the shifting of something that nature has strategically put together that we think we can create, we think we can change, and there won't be any implications. There will be. And you guys are going to see this throughout this course. The constant connection to humans, to the air, to the water, to the land, and what we're doing, what we're not doing, to make sure that we have a place to live. Questions on that? Do you think you could get started on those two assignments? We are out of here at 55, it's 47. Okay, so you do have a couple minutes to start working on that. Please ask me if you have any questions. Good? And watch Whale Wars, it's super fun. It's a good show.